Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliment of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Always wanted a motorcycle, but they've been too expensive. I pass in on my way to work, and then boom, I see Courts have motorcycles outside. I'm excited. I get up one day, I go down, I spoke to this guy. I think his name was Shina, this short, chubby little guy, I purchased two bikes so far. It was the 150 SL and the 250 Dragon. These blue, beautiful AKT TT Dragon. This is my baby. I call her Becky. She gives me the best ride ever. My name is Storyboy Nick, and I live to ride my AKT.
Welcome back to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, there have been 82 house fires reported here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the year There have been 82 fires reported here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the year 2022 so far. Of those 82 reported fires, 25 have been house fires. This is according to head of the fire department, Superintendent Joel James, who gave a breakdown of the different types of fires reported in SVG so far this year. We hear more from Superintendent James.
As it relates to fires in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for 2022, we have had thus far 82 fires. We have had 25 house fires to date, 25 house fires, and we would have had 6 building fires. When I say building fires, I'm referring to commercial properties and huts, storerooms, and so forth. So we have them in a different category. We have had 35 bushfires.
That was the head of the fire department, Superintendent Joel James. Superintendent James said that both bushfires are at the relatively low number of 35 due to the heavy rains that have been experienced recently. The Diamond area is set to become a bustling hub for tourism. Among the hotels being constructed in that area is the Maya Luxury Suites Hotel. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves made a tour of the facility, which is scheduled to be completed by late December 2022. The $18 million 40-room facility boasts a conference room which can host up to 100 participants, a bar and pool area, as well as a presidential and royal suite. Dr. Gonsalves congratulated the owner, Elliot McDowell, on his venture, noting that the hotel is an investment that will certainly augment the room stock on mainland St. Vincent. The Prime Minister added that other Vincentians can make similar investments, taking advantage of concessions by the government when establishing hotels. Area Representative Camilo Gonsalves said the construction of the hotel is in an ideal location with its proximity to the Argyle International Airport and comes at a time where there is an uptick in tourism. Still on the local scene, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves was in a celebratory mood on Wednesday while speaking on radio about the return of Senator Julian Francis. Prime Minister Gonsalves disclosed that he had invited Senator Francis to a meeting on Tuesday and remarked at the warm reception that the senator had received, as well as his demeanor during the meeting. We hear more from the Prime Minister.
The ministers who were there were Minister of Transport and Works, naturally, Minister of Finance, Camilo, and I in the chair. But we had a bonus, a real bonus. I invited Julian to the meeting and I sent for him in one of the vehicles at the office of the Prime Minister. And of course, he was warmly received, and the meeting lasted an hour, and he was sharp, yes, and to the point, and laughing and joking.
Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that while Senator Julian Francis currently walks with a limp due to his stroke, his mind remains as sharp as ever.
The important thing, even though he walks because of the stroke with a little limp at the moment, his reflections on this matter, including memory, reminded us that there was a conceptual design when he was Minister of Transport and Works, which is there in the files for the rehabilitation a few years ago. He remembered who were involved in it, and that's a starting point. Review that particular conceptual design so that we can give the design brief to an architect to do it. But clearly, it's a complicated process.
That was the Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Senator Julian Francis, Minister of Urban Development, Energy, Airports, Seaports, Grenadines Affairs and Local Government, suffered a stroke on July 24th of this year. He was taken to Barbados for medical attention, then returned to St. Vincent a few weeks later. On to news in the region. The opposition Dominica Freedom Party DFP on Wednesday announced it would boycott the December 6th snap general election, even as the newly formed Team Unity Dominica TUD urged opposition parties to form a coalition to defeat the ruling Dominica Labour Party DLP. The DFP, which held office in Dominica between 1980 and 1995, has not fared well in recent general elections, winning just 2 of the 21 seats in the parliament in 2000 and failing to win any seat since the 2005 general elections. The DFP, which was in government between 1980 to 1995, when the late Dame Eugenia Chow served as its leader, joins the main opposition United Workers' Party UWP in boycotting the election. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt on Tuesday presented the DLP's list of candidates for the polls at a public meeting in the heart of the capital on Tuesday night, sidelining several incumbent ministers. Nomination day is set for November 18th, 2022. Governor Albert Bryan won yesterday's gubernatorial election on the U.S. Virgin Islands to earn his second term in office. Preliminary data from the election system of the Virgin Islands showed Bryan received 11,544 votes, or 55.85% of the electorate. His closest challenger, Kurt Violet, received 38.35% of the territory-wide vote. In his victory speech, Bryan said the win for himself and the Democratic Party in the legislature paves the way for his administration to implement the policies they have promised Virgin Islanders. Bryan's running mate, Tregenza Roach, told supporters that he was never in doubt that the Virgin Islanders would have given them another term. He said the government will refocus on their plans to continue rebuilding the U.S. Virgin Islands after they were ravaged by Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017. On the international scene, Hurricane Nicole hit Florida today with 70 miles per hour winds, but has been downgraded to a tropical storm after it slowed on making landfall. States of emergency remain and evacuation orders are in place, with heavy rain and storm surges forecast. Nicole has already lashed Grand Bahama Island as a huge Category 1 hurricane, with the scale of the devastation not immediately clear. Storms of this size so late in the year are extremely rare. After Florida, Nicole is set to hit Georgia and South Carolina. It could possibly even hit Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York later in the week. November hurricanes are rare in Florida. Since record keeping began in 1853, the Sunshine State has been hit by only 2 in 1935 and 1985. And finally, in sports, England stormed into the men's T20 World Cup final with a sensational 10-wicket demolition of India at the Adelaide Oval. Openers Joss Butler and Alex Hales overcame a feverish India supporting atmosphere and chased to 169 without the loss of a wicket. They romped home with a massive 24 balls to spare to set up a final against Pakistan on Sunday and seal one of England's greatest white ball wins. Their stand of 170 is a record in a men's T20 World Cup. It denies the tournament what would have been a mouth-watering India-Pakistan finale, instead ensuring a repeat of the famous 1992 50-over World Cup final at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us at 3 p.m. for WEFM's 3 p.m. News. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Start now only at Courts Optical. Save up to 80% off your purchase. Get the latest in eyewear fashion with frames starting at just $99. Payment plans available from 3 to 24 months. Schedule your appointment online today on www.courtsoptical.com. It's easy and convenient. Black Friday sale starts now with up to 80% off frames as low as $99. Only at Courts Optical.